Hello! Now let's find those unfindable notes. But that's only before now because after this video, you are gonna find those notes easily. Before we move forward, let's listen to the normal one you're used to. It's called the major scale. Are you ready? Go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Now that's the one you're used to. Now, there are other five notes that are hidden away from you. But sometimes these notes come to try to intimidate you, but not anymore. There's five of them. Okay, so somewhere between these notes, this major scale we just did, lies five other notes. So let's find these five notes that are right now invisible to us. Or should I say inaudible? Or maybe both. Okay, how do we find them? We find them by putting them between any note that's a whole step from the other. Because in music, moving from one specific note to the very next existing note should actually be half step. I'll show you an example. Take, for instance, the first note, do. Moving from do to the re, did you know it's actually a whole step movement? There you go. So that means there is a note that should be between them. So we found the first of the five mystery notes. Then between the re and the mi, that's another whole step movement. So there is a note between the re and the mi. Let's move on. Between the mi and the fa, that is a half step movement. So there's no note between them. Yes, they are that close. Between the fa and the sol, we have another whole step movement. So there is a note, a mystery note between them. Between the sol and the la, there goes another mystery note. That means between the sol and the la is a whole step movement. A mystery note has to appear between them to half the distance. Between the la and the ti, that's another whole step movement. So we have a note between them. And finally, between the ti and the do, it's just a half step movement from the ti to the do. So there's no notes between them. So great, we found the five of them. When you sing a song, you usually use the normal. I call them normal because they are like in a family. So the seven, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, are in the family, okay? The family of the scale. But when any of these five notes appear, we call them accidentals. It's like a visitor who comes into the family. He doesn't live there, but he shows up. And when he shows up, everybody's like, wow, you sound so good. And you sound so weird at the same time. Okay, all right. So these are called accidentals. All five of them may not appear. Maybe just one, maybe just two, maybe three. Depends. Okay. But when they do appear, they kind of play some tricks with your mind and with your voice. You try to find them, but they're playing hide and seek. Not anymore. So the seven of the normal one, and these other five ones together are 12. Okay. 12 notes. These are all the notes you have in music. All right. And together they are called the chromatic scale. Yes, the chromatic scale. Here's the amazing thing. They need names, right? They need names. Okay, so already we know do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So what are the names of these other ones? Well, they have two names. Yeah, exactly. They can't stick to one name. They just have two names. So going up, they have a name. When you're coming backwards, they take on another name. Let's find out their names. So going up, the one between the do and the re is called D. The one between the re and the mi is called re. The one between the fa and the sol is called fi. The one between the sol and the la is called si. The one between the la and the T is called li. Okay, now when you're going backwards, like you're going down the scale, they change their names. They don't change their sound or their tone. They change only their names. And then between the T and the La, we have our very first one, which is the Te, formerly Li when you're going up. Okay, same sound, same tone, but different names. Between the La and the Sol, we have Le, no longer Si. Okay, between the Sol and the Fa is a Say, no longer Fi. Between the Fa and the Mi, no note between them. It's just a half step movement from the Fa to the Mi. Between the Mi and the Re, we have Me, no longer Re. Between the Re and the Do, we have a final note, Ra. And that's the chromatic scale. So altogether again, we have the 7 normal notes and the 5 abnormal notes or unusual notes. Okay. So let's get used to the sound right now. We are going to do a chromatic scale exercise. Are you ready? Let's go. Do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do. Do, ti, te, la, le, sol, se, fa, mi, re, ra, do. Do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do. Do, ti, te, la, le, sol, se, fa, mi, re, ra, do. Do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do. Do, ti, te, la, le, sol, se, fa, mi, re, ra, do. So for an example, I'll use a recent song as chord for my choir. Yes, because I've been getting the question, where is that note found? What is that note? Now, this will make it really, really clear now that you know chromatic scale. So this is the harmony. Listen. You are God.
You are God.
You are God.
You are God.
You are God. You are the Lord. And it leads you directly to the next key, which is a half key up. Okay. So individually, they sound like this. So the soprano voices sang this. You are God. You are God. You are God. The alto voices sang this. You are God. You are God. You are God. And then the tenor voices sang this.
You are God. You are God.
God. And together again, they sound like this. You are God.
You are God.
You are God.
You are God.
You are God. Now, this is what singers could experience because your mind naturally want to go to the major scale. This is what could happen. For instance, in this next example, this song ought to be. There is no name in the heavens. There is no name in the earth. There is no name in the universe like Jesus. So let's consider the first line of this song. It is in solfege, D, Re, Mi, Fa. Okay, not Do, Re, Mi, Fa. All right, so you should be able to sing this even without accompaniment like piano or something. Let your mind get used to it because the natural tendency is to sing the major that your mind is used to. So again is D, Re, Mi, Fa. So let's do it together. 1, 2, go. D, Re, Mi, Fa. Again, 1, 2, go. D, Re, Mi, Fa. Now let's do the major so you can hear the difference. Do, Re, Mi, Fa. Again, 1, 2, go. Do, Re, Mi, Fa. One more time. 1, 2, go. Do, Re, Mi, Fa. Okay, so now let's sing Do, Re, Mi, Fa and D, Re, Mi, Fa back and forth so your mind can understand the difference. So the first one, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, you ready? 1, 2, go. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, go. D, Re, Mi, Fa, go. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, go. D, Re, Mi, Fa, go. Do, Re, Mi, Fa.